All right, welcome back to the next installment of The Devil You Know. I've been just pumped to have this guy on my podcast. I say that about every guest. But
yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
He's brimming over with energy. This guy does fashion. He's an independent artist here in Nashville and elsewhere because we can't keep tabs on him. He's always all over the fucking world.
Yeah.
The other night, he was at the bar with us, and then 10 minutes later, he was gone. And an hour later, he was on his way to Vegas. So
Correctamundo. Yes. What's up, guys? This is Louie Real Deal. I'm actually not going by that anymore, though. It's too 1950s Italian, dude. Nowadays, it's Emilio Timmy. I'm changing my name. It sounds more exotic, you know? It's like...
Well, can't you be exotic and nostalgic at the same time?
No. Next question. Let's get this going. I got shit to do. Okay.
Well, I want to... Like he said, this is Louie Real Deal. That is his artist name.
Actually.
It is. And I'm sorry, genuinely, Louie, that we are fully clothed because, as you said... The only right way to do this is to do it totally naked.
Oh, yeah. That's what we did in L.A.
Well, L.A. is a horse of a different color in and of itself.
Yeah. You're not going to pick up the full sphere of our voices unless we're butt naked. Let's do this. You can do it however you want to in Nashville. I'm just kidding. What's up, guys? Louie Real Deal. Let's go.
Okay, so you were in Vegas, you were in L.A., and you are a fashion...
No. I was not... I was going to do I was supposed to do a pop-up at my boy Rico's punk shop, which is in downtown LA. It's called Desk Control. Shout out to Desk Control. That's DES Control on Instagram. His Instagram is Suciarata, which is dirty garbage or dirty trash in Spanish. But he had problems with the building. His roof fell through, and the city of LA was making him do some repairs before he could reopen, and definitely do pop-ups and do shows and anything, do events. He does art gallery showcases. But me and him were talking a lot, but it fell through. But I'll tell you what, I was out there, I went on tour, and I was in Dallas for a couple nights. And then I was in Roswell, New Mexico, and then I went up to Santa Fe.
I will say you were probably the most alien figure that has ever visited Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell is famous for its alien incident back in the 1940s.
Yeah. The reason why I went to Roswell was just because I was driving, and, I left Austin, and my plan was to go to Santa Fe, and that's how you get to Santa Fe. You drive through rural West Texas, and then eventually... you just drive in the middle of nowhere for like hours and hours, and eventually you'll be in New Mexico, and then you're in Roswell, and then you head up north, and you're in Albuquerque, Santa Fe. So I didn't have a big plan to go to Roswell, but I did. I camped out for a night at a campsite called the Bottomless Lake, so I was night swimming in the middle of the desert in the home of the aliens.
Gross.
And yeah, gross. And no, it was awesome. And then I went to Santa Fe. From Santa Fe, I went to Vegas. And I was in Vegas for about a month and a half, and shout out to Vegas. Everybody I met there did First Friday 2 months in a row in their arts district.
What about the brothels? Did you visit the brothels?
I didn't even get laid. It was
bullshit.
Oh, dude. I'm starting to think I wouldn't have gotten laid even if I did pay for it. No, I didn't even get laid.
They should be paying you, dude.
They should be paying me. Hell yeah.
But hey, listen.
Because I'll tell you one thing. I watched Boogie Nights last night in the final scene. I wasn't that impressed. That's all I'm going to say.
What, a happy ending?
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah. I was like, really?
Well, listen, you make clothing.
Correct.
You make clothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you've been doing on this whole odyssey across the country. That's what you do here in Nashville. Talk to me about your clothing. Talk to me about what inspires you to make what you do, because you have a very, very eclectic aesthetic about you. And you are always showcasing your own clothing, which is what fashionistas do anyway. I don't know if you would consider yourself a fashionista or what that term even means semantically, but talk to me about your clothing.
Well, when it comes to eclectic and dressing eccentrically, or just the word eclectic itself, I have to be very clear. There's a lot of people I've done this this is my 5th year. So I've been.
You've only been doing this for 5 years?
5 years, yeah. I started.
What the hell were you doing before? What were you wearing before?
Nothing.
Because I can't picture.
No, I was. No.
There's the nudity again.
Well, shit, I'll tell you what. Like, when it comes to my background, I grew up in Albany, New York, and I lived there. And when I was younger, and then eventually I moved to Tennessee because I went to school in Tennessee in Knoxville, and I lived in Knoxville for years. And my growing up in Albany is the capital of New York. It's a small city. It's not very big, but it's 2 hours north of New York City. So when I grew up, I just used to check out all the streetwear the guys were wearing, and I was very influenced by that. New York's a very fashionable state. And when I was younger, I wore a lot of streetwear, a lot of what the kids are wearing now. I say kids, just dudes in general, like, Nikes, Jordans, Bathing Ape, all that type of stuff. I was into that. If you were to go back to when I was a kid, back in the 2000s, I was mainly just wearing streetwear. But I always looked fresh, and I always, when I moved to Tennessee, I always, tried to pay attention to my style. I started dating a girl in Knoxville, and I dated her for years. And she was
So you were getting laid?
I've gotten laid before.
That makes one of us. So.
Sporadically. I mean, shit, it's happened. It's kind of like a legend. It's like, no, you have to like blow the dust off the book, and they'll see like the history under all that dust. It's like some 2 girls will be sitting at Rosemary or fucking Cobra, and they'll be like, no, for real, Louie did get laid back in the day. They'll like take it off like, who's he with this girl? And no, it happened. But no, I dated a girl for years, and she was really into like vintage clothes and thrifting and stuff. And from being around her, I kind of got into the vintage kind of scene. And I've done art my whole life. The first thing I ever wanted to do as a kid, I wanted to be a comic book illustrator, and then I wanted to direct movies. I wanted to be a film director, and I went to school for acting. And so I've always been involved in the creative arts in some way. But no, I had the idea to start making what I call my fashion pieces, because I got the idea from a friend of mine in Indonesia. There's a guy on Instagram, and his Instagram handle is Econ Harem, which is ICAN and then Harem, HAREM. You got to spell it out because Instagram's fickle. You have to let people know what they're looking for. But I started talking to him online, and
this was 5 years ago.
This was 5 years ago, and I would see that what he did was kind of primitive, which is how he describes his fashion as primitive, kind of analog fashion, kind of like the primitive punk rock version of what I do, where he would take jean jackets and he'd paint like the Sex Pistols on the back, or like he'd be like, oh, completely fucked, and he'd put like a cartoon or something.
So your pseudo mentor.
Yeah, but he didn't tell me how to do it. I was blown away when I went on his page. He had all these jackets, and what I loved the most was the amount that he had. He just had a ton of shit.
So it's quantity in addition to quality then? Correct.
I just was like, this is this guy's life. He's built up his own world, and I started talking to him, and he would respond. And that's how you can tell a real person. Listen, if somebody's famous, if they're not famous, if they're known, they're a complete unknown, if somebody won't respond to you at all when you contact them, they're not genuine. They're not real. And there's people that you'll meet out there, like you think that once you, the truth is there's a lot of talented people out there, but if they don't respond when I reach out to them, they can't do anything for me. And honestly, I probably don't need to know them, because it's going to be a problem later on, is what I've found in my travels. And he responded, and we started talking. Then I kind of it was just trial and error. I figured out how to do it, the system that I use, and I started making fashion pieces. And in the beginning, they were real kind of simple. And then I would, I just went further and further with it. And then I started using nothing but like kind of rare vintage pieces. And it's been a trial and error process, and I've traveled all around. I mean, the first city that I ever did stuff in was Nashville, and then I went to Asheville, North Carolina. Shout out to Asheville. And then 2017 is when I started spending a lot of time in Atlanta. From Atlanta, I lived in Chattanooga at the time, so Chattanooga is on a map. It's directly in between, and it's an artistic place.
Never heard of it.
Chattanooga is a highly creative city. Shout out to Isaiah Rashad, who signed to Kendrick Lamar. I'm friends with his brother, Keem, there, and through him.
You're friends with Kendrick Lamar's brother?
No. I've never met Isaiah Rashad in real life, but I'm friends with his brother and their circle of people, of creatives in Chattanooga. Chattanooga has a cool local, and then it goes baby mother. It goes outwards, hip hop scene. And those people really supported me a lot when I was in Chattanooga at the time. And the way that they do stuff really kind of influenced me. They just didn't care. They would do shows and pop-ups and events left and right. And I seen a lot of that. And that kind of influenced me. And definitely my time in Atlanta. But when I lived in Chattanooga, I would spend a lot of time in between Nashville and Atlanta. And then from there, that same summer, I went up to Brooklyn with my stuff, and I put my stuff in Brooklyn, and then from...
Well, talk to me about your stuff. What is the theme of your stuff? Because...
Well, first off, I'll direct anybody that doesn't know me in real life that is checking this out. My Instagram is Louie Real Deal.
And it's, dude, some of the most entertaining shit I have ever seen in my entire life.
Louie, and then Real Deal. If you don't know how to spell Real Deal, I can't help you out with that.
It's a traditional Italian last name.
Louie, not the French Louis, just the regular, American.
King Louis.
Americanized, yeah. But Louie Real Deal is my Instagram. It shows all my stuff, and I also post videos and reels on there, but I delete them like the next day, which nobody on earth does. But if you meet me, you'll see that I do a lot of stuff that nobody on earth does.
I wish you archived those videos because
I do. Yeah, I do.
It's like a weekly holiday when you post your videos.
Oh, I got them.
And it's this hilarious tirade. And I don't mean to like emulate laughter about your aesthetic because you have a fucking cool aesthetic. Like you do these painted pastels on these denim jackets, and it looks like this 90s nostalgia wardrobe that you exhume and add your own twist to. Like I know that you did this Lolita themed piece.
Correct, yeah.
And that was cool.
Yeah, it was that piece was based on the movie Lolita from...
And it's funny because we were talking about Lolita on the last episode too.
Correct. Not really like the book or anything like that or the later movie, but just, I'm a big Stanley Kubrick fan.
Oh, dude, he's my demigod. I'm a huge Kubrick fan.
I'm a big James Mason fan too as an actor. I always have been a huge fan of film, and I'm a big David Lynch fan too, so that's one of David Lynch's favorite movies, so I wanted to make that piece. But no,
I love David Lynch.
David Lynch is good. Is good too. I've made David Lynch themed fashion pieces. One thing I'll tell you right now, just to clear up something right now, because this is the first, I've done little brief interviews. I did an interview with one of those magazines in Atlanta, but this is one of the few interviews that I've done. So I'll let people know, anybody that's followed me on Instagram and sees me post videos, because I ended up getting a lot of like followers and stuff like that, because they liked my videos. They were like, oh, this is funny, this is entertaining, and they liked the videos and that I make. And I always delete them. Or
why do you always delete them?
I'll archive them. I'll tell you why right now. I don't want that to be what I'm known for.
That's actually a very, very good point.
Most people that you'll find in this current day and age, it's kind of like here today, gone tomorrow, 15 minutes of fame. This even goes for the fashion industry. Okay, so most people on TikTok and Instagram, they're known for their person. Like, you might see like a guy on Instagram and or a guy, a woman, it doesn't matter. Most of those people have a huge following, or they have they get a lot of likes and stuff like that. It's because they're attractive. Like, people think that they're hot.
What, you think you're not attractive?
I don't think I'm attractive at all.
Like,
shit, I wouldn't. Oh my God, I wouldn't jack off to me, but shit, I'll tell you one thing, but it doesn't matter. That's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter what I look like, because I want to be known. Listen, what I make is the real deal. When you...
Aptly named.
I want to be known for my fashion pieces. I mean, you could hate me as a person or think like, I don't want to hook up with that dude. That's fine. Here's my fashion pieces. And I want that to be what I'm known for. So I'm cool with making a video and I'm cool with doing interviews and stuff, but I'm not trying to be, just known as,
well, hey, for the sake of devil's advocate,
go ahead.
Because obviously you want your art to speak for itself. And I think it's a very good point in the sense that now in the modern age with social media, Instagram, what have you, it's free advertising, but a lot of it is just flair and froth in the sense that like you don't really get down to the point. It's kind of like the notion of advertising things, advertising an attitude, which is very important, but you wonder about the core product and if it's worth buying, if it's worth interacting with, whether it be music, whether it be fashion, whether it be film, whatever the fuck. But I firmly believe that what you do, and as you've said a few times, there's, nobody can do what I can do. You know what I mean? And it's so fucking true.
I don't know if I've never said that.
Maybe it just accompanies your attitude.
They don't do what I do. I think that it's possible. I think that the day and age will come where there's tons of people that do what I do. But currently, right now, I work in a very narrow sphere. There is a lady named Sonia. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's Sonia Sombrul or something. She has a company called Cumtees, and that might not even be how to pronounce, because I only know her from Instagram, so that might not be how to pronounce her company. I don't know. But she makes like hand-painted clothes. Her stuff is a lot more esoteric, and it's very it's real, it's way artsier than my stuff. But she's very successful. Mm-hmm. She does a version of what I do. 100%. And I'll give her all, but our stuff doesn't look the same. There's a guy named Warren Lotus. Warren Lotus is very famous. Warren Lotus has people wearing his stuff. He started out making hand-painted jean jackets. Once again, the themes and how his stuff looks is very different than mine. So I don't feel like, and he was doing his shit before me. He started.
It's kind of like what Stanley Kubrick actually said about art in the sense that I don't remember. I'm paraphrasing, but he said,
but there's people that do it.
There are, which is like, I mean, you pull from the people around you or the people before you. So, is there really any such thing as original art? According to some of the greatest artists of all time, maybe not, but it's a conglomeration. It's there is. I mean, there's no such thing as no originality, having said that. But naturally and inevitably, you're going to pull from other people, which it's great that you're humble enough to say that you do. But kind of back to my point where I said...
I'm not humble at all.
If you were, I probably wouldn't have you here.
You can't be too humble in this world. This is what I'll say. Those people, and I've talked to Sonia online, and she's good friends with Rico. And Rico's my fucking brother out there in L.A. He's cool as fuck. And I've never chilled with her in person, but if I had done the show in LA, we probably would have, but she's good people. And I don't know her. I've just talked to her online. Like we're not like all buddy, but I've hit her up and she responded, which is real. But her and Warren Lotus I've never talked to that dude. I'll probably never meet him in my life. Mm-hmm. Which I understand because I've met dudes like him. And the thing about guys like him, my energy fucks them up. When I meet them, like most people that you see that are successful in real life, this is what you have to do. You can be crazy as fuck online. You can be the wildest person on earth. When you meet people in person, when you're in LA or New York, whatever, you have to calm down. Not necessarily in New York because I'm from New York. New York is crazy. But you have to have like a real low energy. You got to be like non-threatening. And when you see me in real life, I'm on fire,
dude. That's
I don't care.
That's what I mean. Is like you're such a personality. You really are. There's no off switch for you.
It throws people off,
of course. But
until you get to know me, and then I'm fine. But we live in a day and age where, like, if you meet up with, like, if I go to Rosemary tonight, which I will, I'm going to the disco night, and I randomly go up to people and I'm saying, like, you think I'll ever find true love or whatever crazy bullshit will come out of my head, and they've never met me. They don't know how to take me. Back in the day, people would just be, and I wasn't around back in the day. I ain't that old, but back in the day, people would just be like, "Oh man, he's just fucking around." Nowadays, people take it seriously.
Well, there's tabs on everybody with cancel culture.
Bro. I don't know. Like, people are like, this guy's a threat. And in the world that I'm in, like, I don't know. I gotta be on. I can't be in, rolling off a bus in El Paso and be like, hey guys, how you doing? And stuff. Nah,
you're like a shark. If you stop moving, then you die.
Yeah.
And I think that's my point when it comes to social media and when it comes to your videos and when it comes to your personality is inevitably, Louie, your personality is going to be part of your aesthetic. And I feel like, you can keep that finite, but
when I start doing porns,
I'll be the one filming it. No doubt about it.
When I start really getting down with these porns, yes, it will become part of my aesthetic. It's already part of the clothes.
Well, don't you want to build up to the
Emilio
porns?
Timmy, the sex boy.
Don't you want to build up to the porns? Kind of like, it's foreplay.
I'm building. I'm building.
I can see, dude, if you spray all over me from across that room,
Right,
I actually might be kind of flattered.
I'm going to start getting one white contact and one green contact. I'll be like this, various snake-eyed dude, and it'll just add to the sexual allure.
Well, speaking
it's
of
Emilio Timmy, the sex boy.
And sexual allure, what's going on with you in your personal life? Because, the thing is...
There's none.
Bullshit, dude.
There's nothing, dude.
You're like a sexual torch, though. You know what I mean?
Torching myself. I'm as single as a solitary chip in a can of Pringles. And, like I said, I don't really, shit, man. I don't do, well, first off, I'm straight. I want to throw that out there. And I have a lot of gay friends, a lot of bi friends and stuff like that. I'm currently straight.
Until you start doing porn.
Man, unless you girls keep fucking up. You know what I'm saying? I reserve that right to go the other route, motherfucker. But no, I'm straight. That was the first. I was hanging out with these two girls in Vegas, and we went to Denny's over like somewhere off the strip. Like one night, we were trying to go to this one place, but it was closed. We went to Denny's, and like it was me and my friend Jenny. Shout out to Jenny, and my girl Marie. Shout out to Marie. And we're like chilling at Denny's, and she was like, well, when we first met you, we just thought you were gay, And I said, and there was like this strong part of me when they said that, I was like, man, fuck them. But then I was like, dude, step back and look at yourself. And then like I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and there was a strong part of me that was like, listen, man, because I was parked like 2 miles away, which equals $27 in a cab or Uber in Vegas, either way. So I was like, you can either take the $27 L and dip on them right now, or just swallow it and go back in, which I did, and it was fine.
Well, if you were gay, you would have swallowed it.
And it was some of the best food I had in my life. Okay. Shout out to Denny's.
But
psych.
Here's the thing is, ultimately, you get one of these women in a room.
Correct.
Because you're currently straight, so it will be a woman. I feel like you'd be into just some freaky shit. You know what I mean?
Fuck no. I mean, like this is what I would do. My preemptive for having sex with a girl is we have to sit there about 6 feet from each other, look deeply into our eyes, really soul search and cry for a little bit. I'm talking real tears.
Dude, you're giving me that look right now. Are you trying to fuck me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
That's why you wanted me naked.
Why is my fucking life like this? No, I mean, and most of them can't handle that. So if you're not willing to cry with me, you're not willing to ride with me.
Well, what's going to make you cry? What's going to make you cry?
What? Oh, I can find a reason. But no, I don't, shit, man. Well, I'll tell you what. The life that I live leads to difficulty finding a relationship, or I just don't really have time for that.
Well, who said anything about a relationship?
Even hooking up, man. Like when I meet you, I'm going to throw you off. I'm going to knock you off your pivot. Part of it might be a defense mechanism. Look, there was a dude the other night. I'm going to share about this dude. He's a cool dude, though. I like him. But this is a little brief story.
Do I know him?
I think you might, but I don't think.
You're not going to use his name, are you?
I don't know his name. I got no idea what this fucking dude's name was. But he was cool. He was fine. But, like, this is what I do. Man, I can chill with pretty much everybody. Says, man, I can chill with everybody. They can't chill with everybody. I'll take them and put them somewhere where they can't chill with those dudes.
But there's no chilling with you. It's just like you said, fully on.
Well, no, I chill too.
And it's great. It's
no,
endearing.
I've chill. Listen, I chill as well. Like, you know, because, you know, after about 5 minutes, I'll run out of steam. So I'll just sit there and say nothing and look at my phone.
No, you quite literally run off. Like, you'll sit with us for all of 1 minute and then you're fucking gone.
Yeah. But then once I run off, I sit and just chill and look at my phone for hours. That's what I do. That. Yeah. So, but I was at, I was at Mickey's the other night in East Nashville, and I showed up late, and I was talking to you guys for a second, and everybody's vibe was fine, and there's this big ass fucking dude sitting at the table next to us. He's like sitting on the table. This motherfucker was swole, and he looked like he was like 6'5", dressed in all black, crew cut, had like the tight black t-shirt.
I don't have a crew cut. What are you talking about?
No, this was not you. You're not that big. You're in shape, but you're not like a towering figure. This dude was fucking big, and he's like talking to the girls. He's like, hey, so-and-so, hold up. Hey, this girl. And it's like these girls that like I sporadically like hit on and pull my fucking whole act on that might like me, might hate me. I got no clue. And I'm never there anyway. I would assume that they're probably friends and fans of mine. I don't know. But who knows? You never know. And so I didn't have to talk to this. I walked up to him at one point because I was talking to a girl next to him, and I was just like, you are one of the biggest fucking dudes I ever seen in my life. Here's the deal. I'm going to pay you $17 a night to be my bodyguard. And
well, who would want to hurt you?
Me saying that completely like diffuse like, if let's say he was like, man, who the fuck is this guy? When somebody comes up to you and they're trying to be friendly and your friend and they're joking around, you got to be a next level of dickhead, and that's anywhere on earth to come at them with aggression. And there is places like that, but I chill at tons of different spots. I'm up in, you know, New York. I'm in, and not even just like I hang out in different parts of towns, different neighborhoods, like. You know, I'm in the hood. I'm in the fucking rich neighborhoods. I'm in all types of shit. And I generally get a lot of love. And the reason why is because I'm me. And, you know, like I just, I don't come at, I'll try to engage with anybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Because people can spot when people aren't genuine and whatever. And I'll tell you what, no matter where I go to, for some reason, people always remember me.
Well,
so,
dude, the thing is despite the
not
fact that
bragging, none of this is bragging. My life would be easier and better if I could just be a normal fucking person.
Well, then what the fuck would you wouldn't be here?
I'd work at, I'll tell you exactly what I would do. Listen, I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs. I don't think anybody does, but like, this is my least favorite. I don't like roaches. I'm not talking about the big ones that are outside because, you know, that's their home. They're chilling and they really don't reproduce. I'm talking about those little motherfuckers that you'll see up in the, and I'm not saying I have lived where there's roaches. Wasn't my fault. It was the apartments. I don't currently live in a roached out place. I never liked roaches.
Who does?
Yeah, of course I don't like bed bugs. Never have had them, thank God. I don't like, you know, black widow spiders. If they bite you, you could die. Fuck them. So I always felt like if I wasn't in fashion and stuff like that, I might get involved with pest control.
You'd be exacting justice
killing
on the
those
critters.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, you'd be exacting justice.
Yeah. And I know that right now, like, because like a lot of people that are listening on this podcast, like there might be some of them that are like, you know, like ultra hipster in East Nashville. And I know that there's that one person out there that's like, man, what the fuck is wrong with these guys? Bugs have a right to exist. You violent, masochistic, fucking chauvinistic piece of shit. And I'm like, listen, dude, all right, you got me there. Like, I don't like roaches. I'm not a big fan of bed bugs. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe that's something I have to work on. You know, maybe I'll get a roach farm. But if I had one and it was mobile, would you really want me hanging out at your house? I don't think so. Nobody wants me it's not like the flea circus. Oh, fuck fleas. I digress though. What's the next question? Let's keep this an actual interview, not my idiocy.
Well, no, I mean, this is the interview, but what happens if you go home with the most beautiful girl you've ever met in your entire life and she's got a fucking roach infested apartment?
I'd leave.
Bullshit.
Oh,
I'm talking the most beautiful girl you've ever seen.
I'm out. I'm gone. It's happened. She wasn't the most beautiful girl that I've ever met, but I'm like, I can't do this.
Okay, no roaches in the apartment.
Because you're going to put the roach is going to crawl up in your shoe or some bullshit. You're going to bring roaches back to the crib. You don't want roaches. No, I'm going. No, and it's not even that she's dirty or anything like that, because you can get all types of, but hey, I can't bring roaches back to the crib.
No, I wouldn't want you
Next.
to. Okay, so no roaches in the apartment. Here's a hypothetical.
Okay.
No roaches in the apartment. Are you going down on her first or vice versa?
Oh, I don't got a problem going down first. Listen, I'm a freaky motherfucker. I'll do anything. Yeah, why not? You can't be stuck up in the bedroom. That's the one place where, and believe me, I know because it's happened to me. Let's say you meet somebody, either you're casually dating or you meet somebody at a club or a bar and you're really digging them, or you're getting married, whatever it is. If you feel comfortable enough to bring somebody back to either your house or their house, get completely naked and have sexual intercourse with them, it should be no holds barred, because you're already, what's left that you're going to do? It's like, I'm feeling you, enough for my dingling to become introduced to either your hoo-ha or your bunghole, but I'm just not comfortable doing this. Not saying that I'm down to do everything, but I'm just saying, yeah, why not, dude?
Well, what's too far?
Oh, that's for the individual. That's shit.
There's no sexual moral threshold?
It's up to the individual of what they want to do. I mean, it's as long as somebody can consent, that's the whole thing.
That's beautiful.
I think that the last two girls I dated, there was the last girl I'm not going to speak of, just out of respect to her. I'm not going to speak on either one of them. But the problem was just that I really and truly believe that they had an idea of who I was before we started getting involved. And it wasn't that I'm better or worse than what they thought that I was. It's just that I'm not that person. It's once you get to know me, they thought that the last girl that I dated wanted to date me because she was like, I don't know, there's just something loose about you, something unhinged. And when I started getting serious, no, I'm a fashion designer. I'm very passionate about this and that. She was like, well, I'm just trying to work 2 random jobs, 97 hours a week, and literally do nothing. And it's like, all right, well, we're just incompatible. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but anybody that I would date would have to deal with the fact that for what I do, I have to be on the road. And I have to go to different towns. I have to travel. And I just have to be down for anything. I can't have any fear. And most people cannot live like that because it gets difficult to completely. It gets difficult to have that level of faith where you have to go. Look, when I go on these tours or whatever, and I go town to town and I do shows and stuff like that, I usually go dead broke. Or I'll go with a little tiny amount of money or whatever, and I have to have faith that I'm going to be okay when I'm out on the road. But I don't go out with, you have some people that get thrown every chance in the world and every opportunity. Somebody will say, hey, here's $10,000. We want you to go to San Antonio, or here's, this and that. And with me, it's just me. I have to believe in myself, and that's, I know that I'll be successful someday, and I hope that what I make, the main reason that I do what I do is to show people that they can.
Well,
you don't have to follow any script in this world. You can do something completely new. You can create something, and you do not have to follow the rules of the world. The world will tell you that you cannot do a bunch of stuff. It'll tell you, well, no, this is how you have to do it. And to be completely honest with you, look, I use Instagram. I used to have a TikTok. Fuck TikTok. I'm not on TikTok anymore. I was on it early on. It was me. And
don't piss off the Chinese.
I mean, that was the main. Look, I have a 10-year-old son. His mother is Chinese. Shout out to China. Shout out to the Chinese people. But what I'll tell you is that it's heavily censored over there.
Yeah.
And I do not.
There's essentially no freedom of speech.
I don't support censorship. So, shout out to Chinese culture. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to, him. Someday, I feel like I don't know what's going to happen over there, but I do know that it's extremely censored to the point where if you can't put the word sex on TikTok, they spell it. These kids that are on TikTok have to spell sex SEGGS because it pisses off like whoever runs TikTok. That's insane, dude. That's crazy. But they're cool with it because, to be honest with you, currently in this day and age, there's a lot of talented people. And yo, these kids are fucking awesome. The people that I hang out with, I'm a millennial. They're all Generation Z. They're all this, and they're cool as fuck. They're more open-minded than, millennials, in my opinion. They're doing a lot of stuff, but they are in a generation where you have to be part of a group. It's just, I just want people to like me and stuff like that. And I come from a day and age where it was like, I don't give a fuck about if any of you motherfuckers like me. Matter of fact, fuck you. and that's how you had to be. And in the city I grew up in, New York, you had to be like that. Because if you just had to be tough. And it's still like that, honestly. Albany is still like that. I was there 3 weeks ago, and Albany ain't changed. So shout out to Albany, though. Shout out to Seasons Skate Shop over there on Lark Street. My homie Trevor. Shout out to Play Dead, which is my boy Rob's clothing brand. And their whole Instagrams and everything. But you have to, where I came from an era of individuals, and I am an individual. I'm me. I will not be anybody else. Instagram and TikTok, it will not be around forever. There'll be some new thing in a couple years.
Sure.
And then people will forget about this and they'll move on to that. And I realize that. But my fashion pieces aren't going anywhere. They can work. They would have worked in 1950. They work now. They'll work in 2030 because we're not going to be walking around naked anytime soon.
Well, if you had it your way, we would be.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Dude, I'm like getting I had people telling me to button up my shirt when I was in Vegas.
Fuck those people.
I know, but nah, dude. Fashion will be around forever. Fashion and actually art, which I'm not in the art world, but art, like paintings that people make, it's not going anywhere either. It's thriving in Vegas. They have a whole arts district. People always want art on their walls. There was a big debate whether, hand painting stuff was going to fade away. It'll all be digital. Well, I don't think that's going to happen because there's something about the art world where when people want art, they don't want something that you made on your computer. I mean, that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's but you want to have something that somebody touched. And,
yeah, there's a tangibility there. There's a sincerity in the actual stroke in and of itself.
Correct.
And I think that much is true when it comes to books. That much is true
Correct.
when it comes to music, which is why you have electronic music now, which is its own frontier. But I mean, people are always going to want to hear somebody strum a guitar. People are always going to want to, read a book that is directly in front of them, not on a fucking Kindle. And people are always going to want to wear clothing and showcase art that was created by hand. And you make art that is created by hand. What do you use? Because it looks like you use paint, pastels, or whatever the hell. And I mean, it seems like that aesthetic is sort of coming back. It's resurfacing where there's an authentic decadence to it, where it's clearly hand painted. You know what I mean? There doesn't need to be all of this prim and proper.
It's
all
my
the bells
blood.
and whistles.
It's my blood. It's my blood that I drain out into these little vials, and then I go up to the local food line out there in Antioch, and I pick up different kinds of dyes, and I'm like, when I'm making this stuff, I'm like, fuck you, and fuck me too. I'm like, you motherfuckers want punk rock? I'll give you punk rock for real. And no, it's just paint. And then, sometimes I dye and alter the clothes, but I haven't really been doing that too much lately because like right now I'm wearing the most frayed and beat up jeans in the world because they're on a different level, these motherfuckers. These are vintage 80s jeans that I'm wearing.
I like those jeans.
That are literally they're on a whole different level of like frayed and fucked up and stuff. So I like these jeans. A lot of people don't really. I was getting a lot of compliments on this pair of jeans in Vegas. I don't really get a whole lot of it in Nashville, but Nashville people don't give you a whole lot of compliments.
That's total bullshit, dude. That's bullshit because every time we are out, I see you and there is always somebody who looks at you and goes, that they stop you. They're like, I love this, what you're wearing. I love this, what you're wearing. And you're always wearing something different. There's like a beautiful inconsistency.
Yeah, but they're quiet. And what you have to understand is that the number one thing that I'll tell you about, look, I started in the South and I've lived in the South for many years. And one thing I can tell you is that Southern people are generally quiet. They don't communicate well. This isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm just saying they're not like, when you see somebody that's from here that's like, man, how you doing? Blah, blah. Man, that motherfucker's crazy. And then
So that's a
you'll
crazy
meet other
person.
guys that are like from here, like, hey, how you doing today? Like that's how everybody acts and stuff. And they're not very I don't know how to put it into words, because they are outgoing and they're very nice and they're cool ass people, but it's just more reserved. Whereas if you go out to like, I'm not gonna say LA. In LA, nobody talks to anybody. I mean, you have to know somebody for a little bit, and then but people talk to each other, but it's just not the same kind of thing. You have to get to know people, which I'm always cool with. People are just a little bit more reserved, so when they see somebody like me, sometimes they'll give me compliments, and sometimes they'll just be like, that's why I tend to go out at night and stuff, because sometimes these people need a couple drinks in them just to be able to like talk to me. Like they'll have like a couple shots and they'll be like, man, I love that jacket, and that's fine. It's nighttime performance clothes anyway, so I don't have a problem with that. And it's just part of the scene. Other places, every place that you go to has a different kind of vibe. But we need more stuff in East Nashville. That's where I live, out by East Nashville currently, and we need more like accessible stuff. We don't need just like the ultra expensive shit and then just Burger King.
Well, I want more accessibility to your work. How do we buy your stuff?
I always respond to DMs. No matter who you are, any question that you have, send me a DM. I always respond. A lot of people
slide into his DMs, guys.
You can slide into my DMs. There's some people that you can't talk to, or you'll be like, hey, I know how people think. They'll be like, hey, bro, what's up with this? And like the guy will just never respond. Or, hey, man, I'm a fan. They never respond. I always respond. I mean, there's people that I've met that are in the artist community, tends to be prevalent in Nashville, where they'll be like, I'm off social media altogether. Well, that's great. I have no way to get in touch with you. Unless you want to become personal friends with me, you can step to me in public too and just be like, hey, I like you. Can we talk? Yeah, that's fine, dude. Or, I don't care. But if you're not on social media at all, it's going to be kind of difficult. And nobody responds to email. So if you're interested in anything I want to do, I want to start having some gallery shows is what I do.
Yeah, well, when are we going to see a pop-up or gallery or whatever?
Soon, if I do like a gallery show or a pop-up or whatever, I would just stay tuned to my Instagram. My Instagram is Louie Real Deal, Louie, not the French Louie, Louie, Louie Real Deal. Louie Real Deal is I'm the only Louie Real Deal. There's other guys that seem to have Instagram names that are somewhat like mine, but it'll be very clear that it's me when you see it, because click on, it's a cartoon of a fashion piece and my thing, and then my profile pic, and then just click on it, and that's me. And I always respond to DMs. That's how anybody can.
So that's how we're gonna buy your clothing.
They have to know that I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to change the whole culture of fashion, not just here, but and that's one thing I want to say too. I'm across the country. A big part of what I do is how I dress in real life.
And you always dress great. And there's there's a consistency with how you dress, but
today I'm off. Right now.
Yeah,
today,
but even now, dude, you look more stylish than anyone in this room. Having said that, there's only 3 people in this room, but if there were 30 people in this room, you would still look more stylish than anyone else.
Correct. I'm dressed right now. I'll describe what I have on to people, because I'm dressed down because I don't know. I got a shirt that I want to wear later on to the disco night at Rosemary, but I just got a pair of jeans, pair of white Air Force Ones, which everybody on earth wears.
Not me.
A old 80s like kind of black t-shirt that's cut down to look like a semi crop top, but it's not really a crop top. It goes below my belly button. It's just just a t-shirt, and then a little silver chain, and then A hat that I got from my friend Trevor's skate shop.
Was that Snoopy up there?
The Snoopy with S, which is the Seasons skate shop. He makes this is in Albany, New York. He makes his own skate designs, and he makes his own T-shirt designs and hats and stuff. And he's one of the few dudes that does it good. That's the deal right now. Here's the thing. Everybody does. If you want to look at what I do, like I make clothes, everybody does it. Everybody on earth does it. Like if I'm out here, and if you talk about people that sell clothes, it seems like everybody's doing it now. They're like, nah, man, I sell vintage. Nah, man, I make my own designs and this and that. But the difference is having it stand out. You got to have something that's so different that when they see it, they got to say, I've never seen anything like this. And if you look at my Instagram page, look, this is what I always tell people. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to my spiel. Go on my Instagram page. Check it out. If you can take a picture and send it to me of somebody that's doing something that's like what I do, and I mean real similar. It can't be somebody that paints something on the back of a jacket but if they're making fashion pieces that are productions that look like my thing, you should send it to me and I'll give you a fashion piece. I'll send it to you. You don't, just when I see you, I'll just give you, here you go, man. Pick out something, my gift to you.
And I'm not going to make that bet because I really genuinely believe.
But they never can.
No,
they
there's
never
no
can.
one like. There's no one like what the fuck you do.
No, there's nobody
no
can.
one
Whether
like
it's
you.
Vegas, that's what they did to me in L.A. Over there on Melrose and stuff like that. I was doing stuff with guys out there in L.A. heavily involved in Melrose. Once again, shout out to my people in L.A. But they had never seen something like what I do. And when I sound like that, I sound like every douchebag that's ever said that. Like every person.
You have to have that confidence, though.
No, but a lot of people out here, they're faking. They have that confidence. They'll be like, there's nothing like what I do, bro. My band or my thing. And it's like, there's a zillion motherfuckers that do what you do. As a matter of fact, I can tell you, like the whacked out clothes that you make, like your band that, you're going to invent a new form of rock music that's been around for 1,000 years. Dude, I love you. But here's the thing. Like there's a ton of people, and I wish there was people like me. Because
I love that you're the only one that you are.
It's a lonely journey doing what I do.
But you have good friends. You have great friends who love you and emulate who you are and love having you around, myself included. So tell me, I mean, what's going on in your personal life? Who are your friends? Who do you really like? Who appreciates you the most for who you are?
My everyday, the stuff that I got going on in my everyday personal life and the stuff that I'm planning for the future. Look, there's definitely going to be some events going on. There's going to be some shows. There's going to be some stuff going on, and I'm going to be making some new fashion pieces. I definitely got some plans to do some stuff in Vegas. Shout out to my boy Sky in Vegas, and he has an art gallery which is called, he's in an art collective there called 3 Bad Sheep, and their Instagram is just like that. It's like 3, then BAAD or something.
Bad Sheep.
Yeah, 3 Bad Sheep. But Sky, he has a gallery in the Arts Factory, which is on Charleston Boulevard in Vegas. If you're ever in the Arts District, if you're ever in Vegas, check out the Arts District, which is kind of by downtown, what they would consider downtown, which is by Main Street and Charleston and stuff. But I got some plans to do some stuff with him, my girl Rudy, who's from Spain, out there in Vegas. I'm going to be doing some stuff with them. I might do First Friday again. I might get involved with people with the galleries down there. I do have plans to do stuff in Vegas and go back to Vegas. The places I've done fashion shows are Knoxville, Chattanooga, where I organized them, but where I was in them was Atlanta and Philadelphia. I have struggled for years to put together a simple fashion show in Nashville. Just fashion. Not reinventing the wheel. Not nothing real crazy. Just let's have a show. I struggled with it a lot here more than these other places. And
why here though?
Fuck, man. I wish I knew. And it's hard to explain because what you'll find about people that are born and raised here that are creatives and artists, they back down.
Sure.
What happens is that like they'll meet somebody that moves here from some other place that has this big gallery or something, and they'll be like, well, if you want to do this, man, you're going to have to pay this amount, and you're going to have to go through this red tape. And they're like, oh, man, I don't know. And they just back down. And then there's other people that they've created this system of like going through all these hoops to put on a show. And man, you can put together a show in a week. I would love it if one of these art galleries in Nashville supported me or was like, you know what, man? You can put your paintings up in there. And to be honest with you, most of the galleries that you see, these guys, it's their gallery. They're about to buy the building and they've paid to be there.
Sure.
And I've never paid to do anything. The best thing I can tell people is, you know what? If you're thinking something in any way, send me a DM. If you're like, you know what, I don't like this guy, send me a DM. If you like me, send me a DM. Man, I'd like to do a fashion show. Send me a DM.
Sure.
I would hit me up because, because I'm not going to be a leader here. I do think that there is a...
Why not, though?
Well, that's what I did in Chattanooga. We had a fashion show at a place called The Spot, which is on Main Street. We had a fashion show in 2018 and in Chattanooga, and this was a shout out to my boy Camden, and shout out to my homie Kofi and a whole group of people, Caleb, Keem,
You got a lot of homies, don't you?
You know, shout out to my people in Chattanooga that came together, and I got them together one day. I can remember there was like a group of them, and what I did was I found like 3 people at a time, and these kids were all way younger than me, and it was a very diverse group. We had it was like just all different races and sexuality, like everything. The middle part of the show was drag performers was the second part, and then the third part was I think Camden and his line and stuff. Shout out to Camden, and we put it together. I sat down with these kids, and then we had this big group meeting one day at that coffee shop, and I said, "Look, this is what I'm trying to do. I want to put together a fashion show, this and that." And and they would agree with this. I was able to lead them. I feel like it would be too difficult here because it's not centralized.
There's a lot of fertile ground, though, out there because a lot of people come here to do a million different things.
Show me. Here, once again, for the this is my main message. If you hear anything that I say and it gets under your skin and you're like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I could get some stuff together. Send me a DM.
It's all about the
Prove
DMs.
it.
It's about
I would
the DMs.
love if somebody proved it to me. I would love if somebody was...
You got to prove it to them, though.
Because I've done stuff other places. They got to come to me. And I'm not hard to find. Listen, every single day in Nashville, you know, I'm everywhere.
No shit.
These people, and here's another thing that I want to call out. The people that are famous, that are like supposedly, oh man, Miley Cyrus, and I understand her thing because she's literally so famous and so rich that she can't just be walking around the streets every day. But I would. You know, that's the thing. Like a lot of these people that are like, oh, do you know so-and-so? She's a musician. She just moved to Nashville. She's got, you know, let's give the low amount, like 10,000 followers or whatever. You never see them.
Sure.
You never see them. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. But they're never around. I'm everywhere. And if I was to become well-known someday, let's say
when you become well-known.
Let's say one day I would become, you know, well-known and I'm doing well and I'm still going to be everywhere. I'll never live in fear. I'm not afraid.
That's awesome.
I don't care. And you know what? If something bad happens to me, so be it.
Well, I'm just curious, how the fuck would you even stay still
That's just
anyway?
how I was raised.
There's no way you'd be able to not be integrated in a community.
Nah, I don't, because like what it comes down with it, what I've learned over the years, listen, most people have fear of people. It's not even that they're antisocial. They'll be like, man, bro, I'm too cool for this. No, the real truth is that you're scared.
Sure.
Like, and when people I've seen this, man, I've seen it happen. There's a girl that will remain nameless that I was friends with, that she's since become a model for, she's become a Gucci model. You know, she's very well known for what she does, which is a certain niche. But all I know is that when she was on her way to becoming well-known, when she was living in a little ratty-ass apartment in Brooklyn, and she was, whether it came to modeling my clothes, whether it came to anything, she was real. Even if she was on the road, she was easy to get in touch with.
Yeah.
And now that she's become well-known, she's real hard to find, and I haven't changed.
Well, isn't that inevitable, though? 'Cause,
No,
I mean...
no, it's not. No, it's not. Anybody can, man, there ain't nobody. That's what people say, but I've known people that are famous. There ain't nobody on earth that's that motherfucking busy that you can't respond to a text. Now, if you don't know somebody or whatever, then
why hasn't Scarlett Johansson responded to my DMs?
Well, here's the thing. Look at the path that I'm on. Look at what I do. And I have people that are well-known that'll look at it and be like, yeah, I fuck with that. I like that. If I was just a regular guy that was out here waiting tables, man, I'm trying to get laid. I got a little band, but I'm not really serious about it.
Well, you are trying to get laid.
And I was hitting up a person that's like an international, like fucking model, or like has like, you know, like a designer in fucking Milan or something, and they don't respond to me. Well, yeah, like why would they? But if you look at what I do, and then you look at the people that I have been friends with, and then, yeah, there's nobody that busy. Like,
Sure.
They know me. They know who the fuck I am.
That's fair.
And that's just the truth. And the reason why I believe, and once again, when you say this, you sound like every douchebag in the fucking world that's ever said this. But the thing is what I do is very original.
Yeah.
And I fully and wholeheartedly believe that there's people, at least in the fashion industry, in the art industry, I just don't think I'm on the radar. In art, a lot of times,
fashion is art.
I mean,
it totally is.
Yeah, everything is art.
Dude, I've heard you...
Cooking is art. If
I've
you really
heard you
want to go
introduce
that route.
yourself. I've heard you introduce yourself as, hey, I'm Louie, I'm an artist.
Yeah, I was doing that to be a D-bag, but I fucking... But no, I'm sure that they felt like that, but everything is art in its own way. You could say cooking is art, whatever. But if you want to get real specific, I'm talking about the visual arts, just like painting. The only art community where it's like, you know, visual arts, painting on the wall or like drawing or whatever, that they supported me, where the community supported me, is Vegas.
Sure.
So shout out to Vegas, and I love Vegas.
Vegas is a wonderful place.
And in Nashville,
never been there.
In Nashville, they've never given me the time of day. Whether it was Wedgwood, Houston. Look, I used to paint at the there's a place, and look, I love them, so I'm not saying this in a bad way, but they will take it the bad way because you have to be ultra nice here. So like, you know, they will take it the wrong way. But shout out to the Turnip Green Creative Reuse Center in Houston, Wedgwood. They do a lot of stuff for the community. They do a lot of good stuff. But they're heavily involved in the arts. Mm-hmm. And I can remember a couple years back when I was fucking struggling, I used to go there and paint my stuff. I was delivering pizzas at the time.
And you won't deliver pizzas.
And that's
you've said, fuck that, I'm not going to do anything like that again.
It's not even...
You want to make money on your art.
No, I've at this point with me as a person, I don't think I'm capable of ever working a normal job. If they gave me another normal job, they would just, when I say normal, just like a 9 to 5,
yeah.
Like they'd probably just fire me right away. I just really, I've reached the level of that my life is so, no, I don't know. I'm just doing my fashion, but
yeah.
I used to go there every day when I would get off of work. I would go paint my fashion pieces at the Turnip Green over there in Houston, Wedgwood. I never had anybody there say like, oh, we're a fan of what you do, or even like think like, we need to get this guy involved or introduce him. I mean, we're around all these galleries and stuff like that. When it was always like, nah, yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, whatever. And you can't have that attitude and succeed.
The indifference.
And it's always been indifference. Like in Nashville, if you were to ask them about me, I'm sure they'd be like, yeah, he's really talented. I really love him. They've never offered me any kind of opportunity, and they've never been willing to get involved with a show with me, which is what collaborating is. So
let's show Louie some love.
If they want to show me some love, send me a DM.
Show Louie some Real love Deal. In his
That's
DMs.
It.
Slide into his DMs.
No. The problem is when I talk right now, my inflection and how I speak, and I am originally from New York, to them, they're going to say, bro, he sounds better and this and that. No, I just speak different than you. And I'm not. I'm chilling. I'm as happy as I've ever been.
Good.
I just, I have to be honest about like the thing. Like I've done stuff. I have a lot of good friends that have like vintage shops and stuff, but they can't really help me. I mean, I can get some clothes from them, and I love shopping there and stuff like that, and they're awesome. But no, the art world has never
Embraced you.
embraced me or given. No.
Well, let's work on
really no.
trying to
It's
embrace
anywhere.
you.
It's not just here. It's at any. And the problem with the other towns that I've been in, I never spent enough time there, so. Like, I don't know how they would have felt about me in L.A. if I had really stayed there. The most I've ever been in L.A. is a couple months. Or any of these other places, New York, Brooklyn. Never lived in Brooklyn. Of course, I'm from upstate New York. ATL, I never even tried. I was just, shit. I was down there in Little 5 Points, messing with them in East Atlanta. Shout out to East Atlanta.
You like these places, don't you?
Yeah,
you appreciate
shout
these
out
places.
Shout out to Austin. Shout out to the Buzz Mill down there on Riverside. Shout out to Tiki. I got people everywhere. I just shout out to Nashville.
You have people here, and that's how I met you was through Bennett Keenan.
Correct. And here's that thing right now. Like in my everyday personal life here in Nashville, yes, I go out. I hang out with Bennett. Bennett's a cool dude, young guy, real quiet.
Makes music,
but that's not what he's known for. He used to be known for music. Now he's known because he's so fucking sexy.
He is a sexy man.
Sexy boy.
And he's
fucking...
Well, go ahead. Keep talking about how sexy Bennett is.
Oh, nah, dude. I can't even talk about it because I'm going to get my motherfucking cousin in trouble.
Well, he's making music.
Dude,
he is. He hasn't released it yet.
Bennett is one of these guys, if his stupid ass could fucking... Nah, I'm just kidding. He's not stupid. Fuck, I'll say that shit. I don't give a fuck. The fuck am I afraid of Bennett for? What the fuck? Fuck you, dude. But if his ass could just learn to fucking... Dude, that's my boy. If he could just learn... Bennett needs to be like a supermodel or something, because Bennett's like this dude. Not only does he have the girls... After, like, women like Bennett because he looks good. He's got this weird James Dean thing going. He's like all like dark haired. He's always got the cigarette, and
which he bums from me.
Ultra young
because he quit smoking.
He's like 23, but last night, bro, he looked like he was like 19. He just had a younger look. He's starting to poof out his hair like Blueface or something. And I was like, yeah, this motherfucker looks like he's like 19 now. But he needs to be like a model, because when I was out in Vegas, I had people asking about him because I was making these videos when I first got out there, and I'd be like, yeah, Bennett and Luke can't be out here. And I had girls asking about him, like, who's this vampire James Dean? These were like Vegas girls. And then I had even a dude asked about him. A dude was like, what's the deal? And I don't even think he was gay, like outright. Like he was like married and shit, but he was like, what's the deal with your boy vampire James Dean? He's got that fucking like player vibe, like a rock star. And I'm like, and this is what I said to him. I said, oh, he's just doing nothing. He's sitting in Nashville. He's just chilling and stuff. He makes music and stuff like that. But, I don't know. He's just chilling. He's like, he needs to come out here.
He works hard.
To Vegas. And I was like, I told him, but, and that's the thing. Like, here's the thing, though. Shout out to Nashville, because Nashville is a performance town, and it's internationally known. Everybody knows Nashville, just like everybody knows Vegas, and they both got similar things because they're both show towns where people put on shows, and they're known as they're tourist towns, but I think Vegas has Nashville beat with the tourism just because of all the gambling and shit.
Well, yeah, it's inevitable. Vegas is an epicenter of
fucking
entertainment,
gambling and all that shit. So and plus weed is legal in Vegas now too. So they got going. It'll be legal here. It'll just be like 5 years, like everything in Tennessee. It just takes a little. It'll just take a little while.
Yeah.
But it'll once they start seeing that they can make money on it, they'll fucking legalize it.
Well, listen, you're here in Nashville.
Yeah.
And you're saying shout out to Nashville. So if I know Nashville's listening, check out Louie Real Deal, guys. Send him a DM.
Louie Real Deal.
And thank you, Tony Sanders, our sound guy. Louie, I love you so much. So very much.
And one last note, everybody out there, stay horny.
And you have a hat that says that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Devil You Know. This is Louie Real Deal. I'm Luke Holden, and I cannot fucking wait to air this interview. We will see you next time.